to the MetPro Method podcast. I am your host, Crystal O'Keefe. Today, I am joined by MetPro client Melissa Urso, and we will be discussing losing weight after pregnancy. Melissa, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
I am too. I have so many questions about this. I never even had thought of a program like MetPro existing whenever I had my daughter. It was so very long ago. I'm really curious how you came to the conclusion that MetPro was the right program for you.
Well, after listening to your other podcast, The Clip Out, I heard a lot about MetPro through that and through the Peloton community. And I've tried a lot of different programs throughout the years. So I was definitely interested in finding one that worked, especially after gaining a lot of weight during pregnancy. So it just seemed like the right fit for me initially, just based on how it works and how individualized it is and how it focuses a lot on your individual metabolism. It's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all approach. So I was really interested in that. And I thought that could really be what I need to get to where I need to be. So
that all makes sense. Now, when you were pregnant, and obviously feel free to tell me if I ask anything that you're like, I don't really feel talking about that. But whenever you were pregnant, did you feel like you gained, did your doctor say you gained like a good amount of weight? Was it like difficult to stay within the range you were shooting for? Did you have any issues with that?
So they didn't really, I was a normal BMI prior to being pregnant. I have always been very muscular. I did CrossFit for a long time pre-pregnancy. And then once I got pregnant, I kind of fell away from doing CrossFit, got more into just Peloton, cardio, strength stuff at home. So I went into pregnancy at a, normal BMI. So she wasn't real concerned. But I didn't like how much weight I had gained. They never actually outwardly told me you better watch it or you gained too much. But I just didn't feel good. Like I physically just didn't feel great. So
you didn't feel you didn't feel like yourself.
Exactly. And I didn't have terrible morning sickness, but in the beginning, like fast food and cereal of all things, that was like all that sounded good. So I feel like my diet was like fast food and cereal for like the 9 months pretty much. And then my second trimester, I sort of, got back to feeling a little bit normal, worked out a little more, ate a little more healthy. And then towards the end, it was like the slump of I just need to get through this. So yeah.
Those last couple months, they are so rough.
Yeah.
And I had like constant, when you feel like it's heartburn, that's the word I'm looking for, heartburn. It was just constant at night and I couldn't lay flat. It was so frustrating.
It's terrible.
Oh, good times.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like now at least they talk about, the medical profession often will say lots of really positive things about exercise. And I feel like when I had my daughter, which in the grand scheme of things was not that long ago. It was 15 years ago. It's not that long ago.
Yeah, but
it was a totally different experience. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's so cool that you had, encouragement and you felt good to work out, that you were able to work out during pregnancy.
That was huge for sure.
What has your experience been like with MetPro? Can you walk through that with us?
Yeah. So I joined, it was the beginning of December, 2021. My daughter was born in March of 2021. So I had her. I was trying to just do it on my own right after she was born, get back into, I have counted macros and all of that in the past. So thought, okay, I can just, I'm good. I know what I need to do. And I was trying to get back into working out and it just I lost like the initial, however many pounds that you just kind of lose after you have a baby just without doing anything. And then hit that plateau. And after that first summer, I was like, okay, I need to do something. I need somebody to hold me accountable. So I joined in December. And it was just amazing how they took into account everything about, my personality and my interests and all of that to pair me with my coach, because I feel like we were meant to be. She also had just had a baby. So we are I think her daughter's a few months younger than mine, but we're kind of navigating a similar situation. So that was huge to have a coach that is going through the same thing, she can relate to, oh, I was up till 3 a.m. last night. I didn't get a lot of sleep today. I didn't get to work out like I wanted to. So the fact that they took all of that into account when they paired me with a coach was amazing. So I think that right off the bat made my experience. So I knew I was set up for success because the coach they paired me with, I knew we were going to click and I knew she was going to be able to help me. So that was huge.
You're with Coach Shannon, right?
Shannon, yeah. We just actually had a call. Yeah, she's awesome. She's so great. So yeah, that was huge. And I think it's just the whole design of the program, how it doesn't feel restrictive. I have a plan, but I've also had birthdays, vacations. I've had so many life events since I joined MetPro, and I don't feel like I've missed out on any of that. And I also don't feel like I've lost progress by enjoying those things, which is what makes it so great.
I feel like it's just fascinating that by applying a little strategy to those celebrations, you can enjoy fully, no holding back, and then, boom, you're right back where you were. It's amazing.
Exactly. It's so great. And that's why it's so different, I think, than other programs, because it's truly is a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. It's sustainable. It's not I'll do this for a few months to drop the weight. And then it's this is just my life now. And I've never been able to say that before about any program I've followed. It's never been something I could sustain.
I totally agree. I feel like I have a very similar thought process about it. And it feels weird to call it a diet as compared to so many other kinds of programs that are out there. And I think we're both just naturally calling it a program because of that. It just, diet doesn't seem like the right word. It's not all about restriction.
Exactly.
So I know that it's been a while since I've had that young child at home, but I know it's tough. It's tough.
Yes,
how are you able to keep up with caring for such a tiny one, plus doing meal prep and workouts and all of the things?
The short answer to that would be my husband. He is absolutely incredible. He is super health conscious. He is a runner. He's always been very into fitness. So he gets it. So from day one, he will never tell me I can't work out. I can't do what I need to do. He is I don't deserve him. He's great. He is, I couldn't do it without him. I don't know how single parents do it because I feel like I don't know how people do it. It's incredible. So he is the reason I feel like I've had success with this program. I think I'll give myself some credit because it's obviously,
you're doing the work.
Yes, exactly. He's in the background doing all that. So yeah, my daughter just turned 15 months. So she's at the age of it's so fun, but she's so busy. So it's I can't do anything. I can't even go to the other room because she sees me and she wants to be there and she's crying if she's, even if she can see me. So yes, it definitely requires both of us to be able to meal prep or even heat something up in the microwave because she's mad if, she's 10 feet away. So
that really speaks to how having supportive folks in your life, whether it be a spouse or any other family member, it makes a huge difference in your journey. It really does.
Absolutely. It really does. I can't imagine doing it without him. So yeah, he's the short answer. And then the other half of it is just the habit formation, which, it takes a month or whatever they say to how many days to develop a habit and the routine. And it was just the key was when I started to just do the same thing every day over and over as far as meal prep, making my grocery list, doing all that. Even the meals I was eating, I found it easier in the beginning just to kind of eat the same thing. For me, that works. And I don't, usually get sick of stuff. And that helps me too. Know, especially with the carbs and the protein and all the numbers that go into it, I knew okay, if I'm eating my turkey and my green beans and broccoli and rice for lunch. So I know exactly how much I need. I could quickly put it in the containers. So definitely just trying to form those habits and staying consistent in the beginning, then it just becomes mindless almost. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah. And I think that's a really big key when you do decide to go off plan, for a birthday or any other kind of celebration, because your routine is there. You don't have to think. You just start doing what you were doing yesterday, and it's not so hard. I'm curious, when you say that your husband helps now, does he cook the food for you, or is it like he's hanging out with your daughter? It's your daughter, right?
Yes, daughter.
Yes.
Yep.
When he's hanging out with your daughter while you're cooking, how is that working?
We kind of do both. He mostly spends time with her because she's in a phase right now where she loves her dad. She loves me too, but if she has both of us at her disposal, she'll pick him over me. So it kind of works out. So he always will cook like a batch of ground turkey for the week. And that's like that just like became his thing. So he'll do that like on the weekends. We alternate grocery shopping, but he'll go a lot of the time on the weekend. But yeah, most of the time he'll hang out with her, and let me kind of do the prep, especially like packing my lunch every night and doing all that. So Aww. Yeah, which is great. So
that is so nice.
So helpful. I'm very lucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and does he do anything like so I hate when people say that their husbands or whatever, their spouses are watching, like they're babysitting, because it's not really what's happening. It's their child.
Exactly. Parenting.
So you guys take turns splitting up like workout time too.
Yes.
So it's okay. Okay.
Yep. I'm a nurse anesthetist. So I do anesthesia. So I work in the operating room, and I work Monday through Friday, 7 to 3, no weekends. So pretty standard, but I get up at 5 every morning to get to work. So he actually works from home. He works in finance. So during COVID, started working from home, and now he just works from home. So our daughter goes to daycare. So he takes her in the morning. I generally pick her up after work as long as I don't have to stay or have other, errands to run. So he'll do his workouts. Usually he can carve time into his day since he's home to do his workouts. And then I have tried so many times to be a morning workout person, but getting up for work at 5 would mean getting up to work out at like 4. And I just can't get to bed early enough the night before as much as I want to. So generally I do my workouts when I get home from work. So that's kind of our routine. That's like her time with dad. When I get home, I do my workout, they hang out, and then we go on with our night. So we have like a good routine. And then on the weekends, we kind of switch off. Like he's actually running the New York City Marathon in November. Super exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah, we are very excited. We're making a whole trip out of it. So we're going to go, and that'll be Cecilia, my daughter. It'll be her first time in New York. So we'll make a little trip out of it. But
have to hit the Peloton studio while you're there.
I can't wait. I'm like, timing wise should be good. Hopefully by November, I'll be able to get into a class. I've been like thinking about it since I heard the studio was going to reopen. I can't wait. So yes, that is on my list. But so when he'll be training soon, his training will start. So then when he'll have to do long runs on the weekends, and we kind of divide that time up. We switch off days who gets up with her, because she's programmed to wake up, like a typical toddler at like 6 a.m. even on the weekend. So yes.
That's how they do.
It is. There's no sleeping in. That's a thing of the past.
It's sad though. Whenever they're teenagers, you miss it. You're like,
I know. It's like exactly. I know that day will come for sure.
It will. It's bittersweet. There's positives, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now, what about whenever you're at work and being in the medical field? It's not like if you're working on a case, you can't necessarily like just duck out and have your food whenever. Yes. How are you working that in?
So that's the trickiest part about my job. Before I became a nurse anesthetist, I was a critical care nurse. So it was a little easier then. It's hard to get like a break anytime you're a nurse of any kind, because it's just crazy, especially nowadays. But it was a little easier then because I could kind of decide when I needed to take lunch. But being, like you said, being in the operating room now, like I can't leave until someone comes in to give me a break or a lunch when I'm taking care of a patient, So generally we have times of the day when we get like a morning break, a lunch, and it's a range of like a couple hours. So we get a morning break between like 9 and 10, lunch between like 11 and 1. So you kind of know that's when you're going to eat. And so I just pretty much, my body's just like used to eating at those times every day. And I kind of stick to that on the weekends too. So I just make sure like I get my morning snack. And the nice thing about where I work is we all like are very close and everybody takes care of each other. So we always get a break, always get a lunch. So, which is great because there are a lot of places where that's not guaranteed. the staff is short and, you kind of have to fend for yourself. So I'm very lucky. I work at a great place and we always get our lunch and breaks. So yeah, that can be tricky, but I try to make it work with those times.
That is wonderful. And I love how appreciative you are of all aspects of the support you have in your life. That's nice that you recognize that and that you appreciate it.
I definitely don't take it for granted.
It shows.
Not
That's
something
awesome.
Everybody has. Yeah, definitely.
And how about Coach Shannon? How has she supported you on this MetPro journey?
She is wonderful. So I usually schedule a call every week with her just to touch base. So it's, the 15-minute call, but I talk a lot. So I feel like it usually turns into like a 25-minute call. It's funny because I feel like I think of her as my friend, like she's my coach, but I'm like, we'll just talk about our kids or, something that happened, totally even like unrelated to like MetPro. It's awesome how it morphed from like, okay, she's my coach giving me nutrition tips to like, oh my gosh, guess what happened to me today? It's great. Like, it's just wonderful. So she's always like, and this is also the first program I've ever done where if I do get off track and I have a few glasses of wine and I didn't plan to, or I just totally we get pizza and I blow it for the night. In the past, when I've done other programs, I've tended to either not tell the person or the program, I just won't enter that I ate that. But I think it's just because it's so transparent and we are such a good match. I never neglect to tell her hey, I kind of went off track today, because I know she's not going to make me feel bad about it, that's I think why I've had such success with this, because it's there's no shaming. It's okay, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up. We'll get back on track. And that's it. And because of that, I feel like I'm so much more apt to just get back on track, because I know hey, it happens. Everybody slips up and it's life. It's gonna happen. So she's so wonderful. True. Yeah. And I'm sure the other coaches are the same. It's such a nice support system. It's not like somebody that's breathing down your neck, yelling at you. They want you to succeed. So, they're not going to yelling at you or making you feel bad about something like that isn't going to help you succeed. So
it's definitely not. There are some people that need that extra, and we have coaches for that.
Sure. That is true. Some people function better when they're under pressure, or that does make sense. I could see that.
Exactly. I'm not one of those people.
No, me either.
On either side.
I couldn't see you being that type of coach.
No, because I would feel too bad, because I would be a hypocrite,
Yes,
the weekends where I totally it just, I had one of those weekends this weekend, very stressful and things did not go well.
Exactly. It happens.
Exactly. So besides that part of it, is there anything that you feel like MetPro has done that was different for you? You want to share with everyone, or anything else just about MetPro we haven't talked about? You want to make sure people know.
I think the thing that I really like is how specific, I think I touched on earlier, how specific it is to everyone's individual metabolic rate and all of the crazy scientific things that you guys do as coaches that I don't even understand. I love that, because I've done other programs where it's similar concept of you get macros and based on, how you're feeling, your weight, all of that, they will change the macros. However, I feel like it's so different. It's just so much more tailored with MetPro than a lot of other programs that I've done. Whereas I've done other programs where I feel like I've been at the same weight and same whatever for weeks, and I've worked with a kind of a similar idea coach, and nothing changed. We'll keep your macros here. We're going to just keep where you're at. And it's oh, no wonder I wasn't, having any success. You can't, it's not going to change if you're just staying where you're at. So I think that part has been amazing. Even if I'm, kind of gaining a little bit, it's just the science is so cool behind it. It's oh, I'm going to increase your carbs. And it's well, why would you increase my, but you trust it. And then it works. It's it's amazing. I've never once questioned it. I'm obviously Shannon knows what she's doing. You guys know what you're doing. And it's crazy. It's almost the opposite of what you would think. like when you do other programs, or if you just have a basic nutrition knowledge, you think like more is bad, but you just trust the science and it works. Like this is the healthiest I've ever been. For sure. I was a runner in my early 20s, like pretty much only did running, loved it. And then I hit a wall with running. That's when I started CrossFit. And then when I got pregnant, I just kind of, fitness is so cyclical. I feel like I get into something and then I like it for a couple of years and then I stop. So, since I stopped doing CrossFit, that's kind of when I started gaining weight and kind of just fell off the wagon altogether with getting pregnant and fitness and eating. But yeah, so it's definitely been, just something I needed to get back on track, and it's really helped me refocus. And another thing I love about it is that whatever fitness thing you are doing, like you can keep doing it on MetPro. You don't have to I like that MetPro has a whole section in the app. There's all different, things you can do that they can give you if you need workouts or you need a structure. But like I came into MetPro being a Peloton fanatic, and that was like, that's it. And MetPro wasn't like, well, you need to do our workouts, but maybe you can do Peloton too. It's like, okay, if that's your thing, like we'll work with you, and that's what we'll do. So that part of it's great too. They adapt to let you keep doing what you enjoy. And I think that's also what helped me be successful.
I think that's wonderful. You brought up some excellent points I would not have thought to mention. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Melissa, thank you for your time today. I was wondering if folks have any questions, they want to reach out to you directly. Yeah. Would you like for them to reach out to you maybe on social media?
Sure.
Would you like to share how to find you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, I'm just Melissa Urso, URSO. And then on Instagram, I think I'm Melissa_URSO. So yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you again. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listeners, that is all for this week. You can find all the MetPro Method episodes anywhere you get podcasts or metpro.co/podcast. Please be sure to follow the show and rate and review, and that lets other people know what they can expect from the show. You can also learn more about MetPro at metpro.co. I am your host, Crystal O'Keefe, and I will be back next week. Until then, remember, consistency is key.